Go to page number 5. I've mentioned a couple times illegal discrimination. Why? Because there's legal discrimination out there, loan to value, debt to income ratios. There's lots of things in your loan policy that allow you to slice and dice applications. What we need to make certain that we do is steer clear of illegal discrimination. Now, there's 3 different types of it outlined on page number 5. And so the overt disparate treatment, letter B1, that's on purpose. I'm purposefully not lending to people with protected characteristics. Disparate impact, that's when we make decisions that have an adverse impact on protected characteristics, protected classes. Usually that's done at the management level. And then number 3, we've got this comparative disparate treatment. This is where discretion is used. And I do believe we use that quite a bit in commercial lending. And we'll talk more about that when we get into more specific examples. But where discretion occurs, there's going to be some amount of fair lending risk. What we have to do is make sure that we mitigate it along the way. And I'll help you out with that a little bit later here. Now, one of the things that's going to help us to transition from kind of this big picture of what fair lending is about to some specific areas of fair lending risk is try to understand what's the consequences if I don't do something correct, if something goes haywire. Page number 6 gives a laundry list of how bad it could be. Hey, there's lots of things listed there. Let me give you a couple of them as a highlight. Letter A, referrals to the Department of Justice. The unique thing, or one of the unique things about fair lending, and there's a few regulations like this, is that not only does the organization you work for potentially get in trouble if there's a fair lending issue, you as the individual can get in trouble so that you can be referred to the Department of Justice. Okay, you could go to jail. And so that's a big deal. Letter D, lawsuits and litigations. That's the real cost when you encounter an accusation of fair lending and discrimination, is the cost to defend yourself in the face of that accusation. And then letter I, we have adverse impact on reputation. So those are just some highlights for me. One of the things that we're lucky enough to get to do as consultants is travel the country, and we get we get to be in front of boards and management teams. And one of the questions we often ask is, what keeps them awake at night? And from a compliance perspective, right? Because they've got a lot of things to think about, but from a compliance perspective, what is it that keeps most of them awake at night, or the most? Fair lending is always at the top of that list. And then we like to say, well, what is it specifically? The things that commonly come out are letter D and letter I. It's the cost to defend, and then the reputation damage that can be done in light of an accusation. So some pretty big heavy hitters there.